Hey guys, today we want to provide you with a quick and simple warm-up routine that you could perform the next time you go to either the driving range or the next time you play around with golf. What I'm going to use for this is going to be a stick mobility stick. You don't need this, you can use one of your golf clubs, or if you're at the actual course and you're using a cart, you can hold on to the cart as well to get this done. The first drill we're going to go over is going to be a bent over pelvic dissociation. What that's going to look like is I'm going to set up as if I was in my golf posture. I'm going to have my hands out in front of me. I'm going to press this into the floor lightly. If you're using a club, obviously don't push it down where the shaft starts to flex on you. And now from here, all I'm going to focus on doing is trying to arch the lower back and then tuck the lower back under. So you'll see as I work through, I'm working on moving my pelvis while keeping the rest of the body still. As you hold on here, focus on the elbows not bending and that your upper back isn't pushing away. So I'm trying to arch the lower back and then round the lower back. All you're thinking of doing is pretend that your hips were a bucket of water. Think of trying to pour that water out going forward. So I'm pouring the water out. And now I'm going to pour the water out behind me. You'll see my pelvis tucks under, tipping that bowl of water back, spilling it behind me. You're going to do that for 8 reps. The next drill is going to be pelvic rotation. So we're going to set up in the exact same position. I'm going to show you a front angle for this one as well. I'm going to press back down into the floor with this stick. What I'm going to try to do is rotate my hips. So you're going to see the hips are turning, and this is a tough angle to see what's going on, but I want to make sure that the shoulders aren't moving as I work through this. Now from the front, with the stick in the way, I'm going to move the stick out of the way just so you can see, is when I'm here, shoulders are staying still, and then I'm just turning hips back and forth without allowing my shoulders to move with it. So this is a drill we've touched on previous blogs. Again, learning how to dissociate the hips from the rest of the spine. Okay? The next drill now is going to focus on the upper back, learning how to dissociate the spine from the hips. And I'm going to do that from this bent over position again. I'm going to take my hands across my shoulders. I want to focus on the hips not turning now. Hips are going to stay still. And now I'm just going to turn the shoulders back and forth. You'll see that I'm not allowing the hips to turn with me. Everything is staying locked in. I'll tell people, think that from the waist down, you're trapped in cement. You can't move your body. So moving the shoulders as those hips stay still. Now from the front view, as if I was setting up to my golf posture, again, set up wherever you feel most comfortable. Some of you might be a little bit wider, some of you might be a little bit narrower. Try to mimic your posture. And now from here, just turning the shoulders, that's naturally going to force that spine and torso to rotate. Okay? Another thing you could think of, as you hold the shoulders, you're going to see that there's kind of like a triangle set up between my elbows. Think of moving that triangle to the outside part of your knees. Cool. So those are the first 3. For the fourth one, we're going to go back to our stick mobility or your golf club or the cart. We're going to work through a hip car. What I'm going to do again, I'm going to anchor myself into the ground with the stick. I'm going to lift one leg up. I'm going to open up to the side. I want to make sure I'm not shifting my right hip as I work through the left hip. I'm going to try to reach this foot back as far as I possibly can and then come around to center. Now I'm going to reverse that, extending the leg back. Make sure I'm not leaning forward. You'll see this from the side as well. Going to reach back. Open up the knee to the side, swiveling the foot under, bring it up into the armpit, and then down to center. So that's going to be your front view of the hip car. From the side, same thing, driving the stick into the floor. Knee is going to come up as high as possible. Think of this like a gate opening now. Open the gate out to the side. Rotate the foot up to the ceiling and reach back. Try to touch the wall behind you with your foot. As you do that, make sure you're not tipping forward like this. Spine is staying still. And then bring it back to center. Then go reverse. Knee goes back. Out to the side. Swivel that foot up into the armpit and then around. This is the most complex one out of them, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side just so you get a feel for it. Now I'm taking the left hand, driving that stick into the ground. Going to bring my right knee up, opening out to the side. As I do this, I'm focused on my belly button and my torso facing straight forward. Rotating the foot to the ceiling, trying to touch the ceiling, down to center. Reversing that, heel is going to go to the wall behind me. Now I'm going to open up the knee to the side, still driving this stick into the ground, swiveling the foot up, trying to bring the knee up into the armpit, and then down to center. One last time from the side. Pushing the stick down, right knee comes up, right knee comes out to the side. You could hold on with both if you wanted to really create more stability here. Reach the foot back, trying to touch the wall behind me, and then reversing. Heel goes back, stay nice and tall, make sure you're not arching that back. Swivel the foot under, up into the armpit, and then down back to center. And now lastly, our last drill is going to focus on the shoulders, and we're going to set up in a bent over position again with our arm at a 90-degree angle. So I'm getting my posture. Shoulder, elbow, and wrist are going to create a 90-degree angle. Okay, so this is going to be the front view for you. From the side, it's going to look like this. Make sure we're not rounded. Try to keep that back nice and flat. What you're going to focus on doing here, I'm going to rotate my hand up towards the ceiling. I want to make sure that the elbow is staying still and the head is staying still. So you'll see as I work through, I'm getting clean rotation here. Elbow isn't dropping on me. And then another thing to keep in mind from the front view, 90-degree angle, lifting that hand up. The hand isn't coming towards the ear. I'm trying to maintain 90 the whole time. Do one more rep here. And now same thing on the other side. Before I do that, keep in mind when you go through this, the arm you get into your backswing with, so your trail arm, is going to be probably a little bit easier to do this with. So I'm a lefty golfer. My left arm is easier than my right. So same thing on the right arm. I'm going to lift up, come back down. You'll notice that I'm holding on to my right shoulder as I do this. I want to make sure that the shoulder isn't popping forward on me. So I'm monitoring my position here. I also want to stay aware of the head. Make sure it's not starting to tuck down, keeping everything straight. Do one final rep. And then I'm going to relax out of that. So we went through the hips, the spine, and the shoulders. Probably the three most important joints when it comes to swinging a golf club. Now for yourself, there might be more specific things you need to touch on, but in general, these are the big rocks we like to cover with everyone that does swing a golf club.